Hi guys, today we were going to discuss about router security. So let's start for objectives. First is explain the importance of router security. Second, identify common router vulnerabilities. Third, apply basic security measure. Fourth, demonstrate how to access and configure router settings. And lastly, develop awareness and responsibility. So let's start. What is router security? Router security refers to the protection measures that keep your router and network safe from hackers or unauthorized access. It involves setting a strong Wi-Fi password, enabling encryption like WPA2 or WPA3, updating the router's firmware, and disabling risky features like remote management. So why router security is important? First is prevent hackers from stealing your info, and second, keep Wi-Fi connections safe and stable. Third, protect personal data and devices, and lastly, avoid strangers using your network. So now let's talk about Wi-Fi security protocols. First is web or wired equivalent privacy. The first Wi-Fi security protocol, it uses a static encryption key which makes it weak and easily hackable. It is now outdated and no longer recommended for use. And web is developed in 1999, early as wireless security protocol. So next is WPA or Wi-Fi Protected Access, released an improvement over web but also considered outdated due to its own vulnerabilities. WPA is developed in 2003 and uses TKIP. And third is WPA2 or Wi-Fi Protected Access 2, widely adopted for many years and the most common protocol for most current devices, offering much stronger security than web or WPA. WPA2 development 2004 provides stronger security and it uses AES. So next is WPA3 or Wi-Fi Protected Access 3, the latest and most secure protocol, designed to fix the weakness of WPA2 and provide better encryption and authentication. It is the best choice for new networks, although not all older devices support it. And WPA3 is developed in 2018. So before we move forward, here are some key terms that is important to understand in router security. First is WPS or Wi-Fi Protected Setup, a network security standard designed to simplify the process of connecting devices to a wireless network. So next is TKIP or Temporal Key Integrity Protocol. It is a dynamically changes its keys as it being used and it's an older, less secure encryption protocol. Lastly, AES Advanced Encryption Standard uses a symmetric encryption algorithm which makes it strong to resist a brute force attack, and it is modern and much more secure encryption standard. So now let's talk about common router vulnerabilities. First is default username and password. Many routers come with default login credentials like admin or 1234. If these aren't changed, attackers can easily guess them and gain access to your router settings. To prevent this, change the default username and password immediately to a strong one that includes a mix of letters, numbers, and symbols. This simple step helps protect your network from unauthorized access. Second is outdated firmware. The firmware acts like the router's operating system when it becomes outdated. It may contain bugs or security flaws that hackers can exploit to access your network. Regularly checking and updating your router's firmware through the admin page ensures that you have the latest security patches and performance improvements, keeping your connection more secure and stable. So third is weak Wi-Fi password. Using a weak or predictable password such as password123 is risky because hackers can easily break into your network using brute force attacks. A strong password should include uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. Enabling WPA2 or WPA3 encryption also provides stronger protection against unauthorized access. Fourth is WPS still enable. WPS or Wi-Fi protected setup allows devices to connect easily using a pin or push button, but it's also introduced potential risk. Attackers can exploit this feature to connect to your network even without knowing the Wi-Fi password. Disabling WPS in your router settings and connecting devices manually using a secure password is a safer option. And lastly, unknown devices connected. Sometimes, unfamiliar devices may appear on your Wi-Fi network, which could mean someone is using your internet without permission, or that a hacker has infiltrated your system. It is important to regularly check the list of connected devices in your router's admin interface. Remove any unknown connection and change your Wi-Fi password to ensure only authorized user can access your network. So let us now proceed to the demonstration, accessing the router settings. Since I'm using a Mac operating system, finding the router will going to be different. First, go to settings, go to network navigation, click advanced and then TCP/IP. From there, you will see the router's default gateway. Next is open your browser and type the default gateway. By the way, the router that I'm configuring is Huawei, so the interface will be different. Just to enter the default router user and password, which is for me is user is EP user and the password is user EP. So after accessing the router, we will proceed in changing the network SSID and setting a strong password. To have a strong password, we need to include a mix of uppercase letters and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. Changing the default credentials. This model of Huawei router won't let us change the default user, so we will change the password instead. So we access the router admins page. We are now going to configure the network security. First, find the advanced tab in the navigation bar and look for security tab. In that section, you will still find the network security features. On this page, you can configure one-to-LAN filter to prohibit some IP address in the WAN from accessing the LAN. In other words, it lets you block or restrict specific external IP addresses from connecting to your internal devices. This helps protect your network from unwanted access, hackers, or harmful online activity. So, in this page, you can configure MAC filter to prohibit some device from accessing the internet. It means you can block specific devices from going online by adding their MAC addresses to block a list. This helps you manage who can use your network, prevent unknown or unauthorized devices from connecting, and maintain a more secure Wi-Fi environment. So, on this page, you can set the internet access restriction to allow your kids to use the internet safely without direct supervision. Parental control allows you to set the times when your kid can use the internet and which website they can access. And on this page, you can configure precise control for devices based on LAN, SSID, and WAN port. IPv6 access supports only HTTP and does not support Telnet, FTP, SSH, ICMP, or Samba, or SAMBA. So device access control, on this page, you can enable or disable permissions to access the device. It means you can allow or restrict certain user or devices from accessing the router settings or interface. This helps prevent unauthorized users from changing configuration, ensuring the only trusted users can manage the network. We will now proceed in setting up encryption to our network and disabling the WPS if not in use. As we scroll down, we will see authentication mode. From there, we will find a list of network security protocols such as WEP, WPA, or WPA2 and WPA3. These protocols determine the level of protection applied to our wireless network, and it is recommended to choose WPA2 or WPA3 for stronger security and better data protection. There's an option that has both WPA and WPA2, and there is a security option. This option enables WPA and WPA2 at the same time, so it uses both TK/IP and AES security. Now, the reason for this option is for compatibility purpose because some older devices like prior 2006 may not be compatible with using AES encryption that is used with WPA2 so these older devices will connect to the older WPA protocol, but at the same time, modern devices will connect to WPA2. Under that, we have this encryption mode. As you can see, we are currently using TK/IP and AES at the same time. It means the Wi-Fi is using a mixed encryption mode. This allows the router to support both old and new devices at the same time. As you can see, WPS is already disabled. Now, other brands of router have these features enabled by default, which can be risky because WPS has known security vulnerabilities. Disabling it helps protect your network from unauthorized access and keep your network more secure. Creating a guest Wi-Fi in this router will be different. In the WLAN basic configuration, click New. After that, set your SSID and under the authentication mode, choose WPA2 or WPA3 as the encryption type. Since this gives you the highest level of security, next make strong password that includes letters, numbers, and symbols. Make sure it's different from your main Wi-Fi password for better security. Turn off WPS if it's enabled from additional protection, and we are not going to use it anyway. After that, click apply and that should be it. Using MAC address filtering is one of the most effective ways to block devices from accessing your network. To do this, first you need to locate the MAC address of the device that you want to block. You can usually find it in your router's connected device list. MAC address is a hexadecimal number that uniquely identifies each device on a network. And with MAC address filtering, you can either allow or block access by using the device's MAC address. Once you found the MAC address, go back to the MAC address filtering section and enter the MAC address of the device you wish to block. Then click apply or save. Now the selected devices can access to your network anymore. This method provides an additional layer of network security by ensuring that only authorized devices can access your network. So next, let's check for firmware updates. In other router brands, you can usually find this option under the System or Maintenance tab, where you can click Check for updates. However, since this router is the Huawei model provided by the ISP, it doesn't have a manual update button. In this case, the firmware updates are automatically handled by the internet service provider. They remotely install updates to keep the router stable and secure. Still, it's a good habit to regularly check your router status or contact your ISP if you suspect that your router firmware is outdated or if you experience the connections issues. Here are some tips and best practices. First is regularly updating your passwords. Second, check connected devices periodically for unauthorized access. And lastly, educate household members on safe network practices. In conclusion and call to action, in this presentation, we'll learn how to keep our Wi-Fi network safe by updating firmware, using strong passwords, disabling WPS, and checking connected devices. Always remember that securing your router means protecting your privacy and personal data. So after watching this, take a few minutes to check your own router settings and make sure your network is protected.